Hey guys, this is Tom from Numbers Game Lifestyle, and today we're going to be talking about your D size and how important it is to women. Okay, so let's have a look at the question. It says, can you make a vid on how much D size matters? What percentage of girls prefer X size? And is it more about foreplay or using the D, etc.? Don't sugarcoat it at all. Okay, this is exactly what I'm going to answer today. Okay, now before I get into this, I have to go with my experience, okay? And I'm not small, but I'm not big either. I'm average like most men, probably a little bit above average because I'm slightly taller than average as well, at 6 feet tall. Generally, the taller you are, the bigger your D is gonna be. The bigger everything is gonna be. The taller you are, the bigger your head, your hands, your feet, your legs, your arms. Everything is gonna be bigger, including your D, okay? Generally, the taller you are, the more endowed you are as well. It's just proportions, okay? With that said, how important is your D size to women? Women a lot of times say like they're size queens and all this. First, let me say that your D size is not gonna like ruin your chances of getting laid, okay? If you're with a woman, and she's super turned on, aroused, she's wet and wild, ready to be penetrated, if you whip out your D and it's not exactly impressive, it's not gonna matter, okay? She's gonna be like, okay, like obviously it's not that big, but I'm super turned on and I want to take this to its conclusion, okay? She's gonna want to, ride your D anyways, regardless of how big or small it is. Okay, so don't worry about like, oh no, if she sees my D, like I'll blow my shot and she'll just want to leave. No, it's not gonna happen. She's gonna want to like see this through to the end, which is a powerful climax. And you can do that even with a small D, okay? How do I know this? Because I've experimented. Here's the thing. The most sensitive bits in a woman's anatomy, in a woman's, nether regions, is within 2 inches, okay? All the like important bits, like the magic bean, the G spot, all the most sensitive parts of a woman's anatomy down there is within, a 2-inch reach, okay? So if you have 2 inches of length, you can reach those spots. So you don't have to worry about this. Yes, obviously having a well-endowed, meat stick is good for reaching the cervix and like pounding her out that way, but that's not where all the most sensitive parts are. All the most sensitive parts, most arousing parts are within 2 inches, right around, the magic bean area. Okay, so you don't have to worry about being super endowed in order to make these women climax like crazy. I've experimented doing this, shanking women where I only put like the head in and I just, rock it back and forth, in and out, completely in, barely penetrating her. And you wouldn't believe the kind of orgasms a woman can have just from this. It's like, it blows her girl's mind, and it's barely doing anything. I'm not hitting her cervix. I'm not going all the way in. It's just barely penetrating, just completely out, completely in, completely out, completely in. And it's barely going in. And you rock that position and she climaxes like she's never climaxed before. Okay, and it's not because like, oh, I'm just so well endowed, it's hitting all the spots. No, it's what you do with your stick. Okay, it's everything. You can see this play out in prawn as well. Okay, in graphic videos where a guy's got a massive like meat stick and he's hammering into these women. And the woman isn't even close to orgasm. She's not even wet. And how do you know this? Because while she's getting hammered, she's grabbing her hand and she's frantically trying to, flick her magic bean to make herself wet because his massive D isn't getting the job done. He's just hammering away at it. No technique, no rhythm, nothing. It's just like boom, 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 boom. Nothing's happening. You'll see this play out in prawn over and over again. It is actually the absolute worst sex you will ever see. Okay, you can tell these women are faking it. They're frantically like, trying to like get themselves off because he's not doing a very good job. It's actually really pathetic the way most sex scenes happen in prawn. You can do so much better than what you see in these movies. You can blow these girls' minds and have do things to their body that they've never done before. It just relies on you to experiment and pay attention to what's going on in her body, how her body is reacting to yours, what you're doing to it. Okay, pay attention, and you can blow these girls' minds in bed. So yes, the size of your D isn't that important, because I've seen countless guys, with massive meat sticks completely suck in bed. Okay, this is what you'll see in most prawn movies. The guy doesn't get the woman off. You can tell she's like all faking the orgasm. It's the most pathetic sex I've ever seen in my life. And it's over and over. Like, it's the same stuff. It's the same crap over and over. No authentic orgasms. No authentic, real pleasure going on with these women. No climaxing at all. It's like this woman is just faking it, barely getting herself aroused. And she's dry as a bone. You can tell that because the guy's D is dry. It's not glazed like it's supposed to be, like it should be. So these women aren't even close to orgasm. A woman has to be wet, aroused for orgasm to happen. Just like a guy has to be erect before he can orgasm. Okay, these things have to come into play. In order to do that, it doesn't require a massive D. It just requires you to experiment and pay attention how her body's reacting to whatever you're doing to it. It's being like a master locksmith. You're going to try a bunch of stuff. And sudden things like, oh, she loosened up the lock. I'm going to keep doing that. Oh, the lock seized up. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change directions. I'm going to try something else. Okay? It's exactly like being a master locksmith. Different techniques. Different women respond to different techniques. Women have completely unique anatomies. Okay, they're not gonna all want the same type of sex. You have to experiment to find what really gets this woman off. What really makes this woman climax like she's never climaxed before. And before you say that, this sounds so beta, why are you paying attention to how well a woman orgasms? That just shows to me that you have never really blown a girl's mind in bed, okay? Once you do this to a woman, it fills you with so much pride and so much, confidence to be like, I just blew this girl's mind in bed. She's never experienced anything like this. And it makes me climax that much harder because I see her climax super hard. And she wants to do the same thing for me. She's going to work super hard. She's going to do whatever it takes to take me to the next level. Just like me, I'm going to do whatever it takes to take her to the next level because it's that much more intense, that much more exciting, okay, when you're both working hard to give each other the best experience and you both climax at the same time over and over again. This is how this works. What's good for you is good for her as well. Just like whatever is good for her is good for you as well. Okay, you have to be a team in this, okay? I tried doing stuff before where it was just no, I'm gonna focus on my orgasm. Who cares whether she comes or not? And it's the worst sex in the world. It's not even worth doing. It's like masturbating. Why? There's no point. There's no fulfillment in this. Whereas when you get these girls crazy orgasms and you're they're clinging on to you like they've never clung on to a guy before. They're bragging to their friends about you, how good you are in bed. They walk different around their friends. They completely act different because, you've blown this girl's mind in bed. Before they met you, they never realized that sex was that big of a deal until you unlock that orgasm, until you unlock that climax. And then that's all they think about. Night and day, I want to get on his D again. How can I get back on his D? That is what happens. Whenever women say oh, sex is not that important, I know she's never climaxed properly. Because when they do, they completely change. They become like men where they're constantly hounding around to get laid next, okay? And it'll be with you because you're the guy that unlocked that. You're the guy that, brings that out of her. So yes, I do not think that having a big D is that important. As long as you're, within 2 inches, You know, I've experimented using only 2 inches and then blowing girls' minds in bed, having really intense orgasms, okay? Now, obviously, a big D helps kind of like give a little boost to her orgasm at the very end where you can just, you know, while she's climaxing, you can really hammer in that cervix, put the whole length, your size to use. But if you don't have that, it doesn't even matter, okay? Because she's still gonna climax, even with your only like 2 inches, 3 inches, whatever it is. As long as you get within that area, you're gonna be able to hit all of her sensitive spots. The clitoris is like where it is at, where it all starts, and everything just builds off of that. Okay, you can give girls crazy orgasms just from the clitoris itself, just from the magic bean itself, and that is on the outside of, her nether regions. Okay, you don't even have to have an inch. Okay, you can have a micro D. You can still use that. You can still hit that. Okay, with your hand, with your tongue, with your D, anything. Okay, there's so many ways you can go about giving girls crazy experiences in bed that does not require any kind of like size down there. Okay, and I've seen, and before, like, oh, you don't have a big D, so you don't know, like, how important it is to women. Yeah, I've seen it in action on, like, movies, and they suck. The sex sucks. It's terrible compared to the sex I have. So no, I don't think the size of your D is that important. Sometimes it's something that women brag about, like, oh, this guy's got a monster D. But it is really not that important. What is important is that you get women off. You make them climax like they've never climaxed before. And you do not need a big D to do that. Okay? So get that out of your mind. Okay? Yes, it is brag-worthy to be like, oh man, this guy's got a monster D. But if he sucks in bed anyways, what does it matter? Oh, he's got a monster D. Oh, great. How well does he get you off? That's what's important. But that's the thing. Most guys suck in bed. Most guys don't give women intense orgasms because they just think that what they watch in movies is what they should do. That is the worst sex you could ever do to a real life woman. It's not going to be fulfilling to her. It's not going to be fulfilling to you. So anyways, guys, that's the video. If you need help doing this, maximizing your bedroom skills, I help guys do that along with a million other things in my coaching program. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching.